So while President Trump is out there burning bridges with American allies such as Canada, Mexico, Panama, France, China is strengthening relationship and building new relationship across the world in the Caribbean, in Africa, and in Latin America. So this report that I want to feature today is coming out of Jamaica, and this report is from TVJ Jamaica, talking about China meeting with Caribbean officials and officials from Latin America in talks about strengthening trade relationship between the Caribbean, between Latin America and China. So this report is from TVJ Jamaica. Let's take a look.
More countries from the Caribbean and Latin America are moving to secure markets in China. The update was given by China's Foreign Affairs Ministry. Our reporter Dwayne Anderson is in China and filed this report.
A quarter of the world's economic output comes from China and the countries of Latin America and the Caribbean. It represents a formidable bloc of nations in the global trade. And China says it is critical that these countries continue to find ways to work together.
The China-LAC cross-Pacific supersized market that covers a population of 2 billion gives the two sides the greatest confidence to stand against any coercion and suppression, and will provide endless momentum for development and revitalization of the two sides.
At present, LAC countries are facing new opportunities of exporting to China. And recently, China signed with Brazil an agreement on the procurement of soybean, and many LAC specialty products have granted the export license to China.
The push for stronger ties coincides with the ongoing trade war between the USA and China. China's government is also adamant they have no hidden agenda in partnering with countries like Jamaica.
We produce real benefits for the people, and we have won the recognition and respect of all parties. China has all along upheld openness and inclusiveness. We have no hidden agenda and seeks no selfish gains. As you can see, the accusation of a certain country, of certain countries, are out of ulterior motives.
The Chinese government official addressed me and other journalists from the Caribbean and Latin America in Beijing on Sunday. During the briefing, fingers were pointed at the USA for trying to destabilize the global economy for selfish reasons.
There's a sentence that has been very familiar with local people, and it has demonstrated their shared anticipation that to see the American Puma and Chinese Dragon become closer, friends from the media. The world is entering a new period of turbulence and changes. Only with solidarity and cooperation can we overcome the difficulties.
So the Chinese government has made its position very clear. Now it is over to the United States. Reporting from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs here in Beijing, China.
So what are my thoughts about this news coming out of China with the Caribbean strengthening relationship with China? I have been consistent from day one when this trade war started. And I stated that, look, I believe that this trade war, even though it's affecting global supply chain now, it's going to affect a lot of prices. From day one, I believe that this was the push that the Caribbean region needed for the leaders in the Caribbean to get serious about business. And I stand by that belief. I believe that this trade war is going to be, at the end of it, it's going to be very beneficial to the Caribbean, because I believe that we have all of our eggs in one basket and we need to diversify our trade. I believe that China is a great partner for the Caribbean to do business with, and I know that there are people in the Caribbean that have their reservation about China, and people are describing it as jumping out a frying pan to jump in the fire, like exchanging one colonizer for the other. But I do not believe that for 1 second, because first of all, the history shows it. Like in the past 500 to 600 years, based on every record that we have, the countries that are the colonizers are the European countries, are the Anglo-Saxon countries. Like we have not seen one Asian country. We have not seen one of these Middle Eastern countries trying to go around and colonize the world. And based on, we have been doing business with China for decades now. And one thing is for sure about China. China is about their money. China is about their business. China has never, from my recollection, has never demand anything from any of the Caribbean countries that we see them doing business with. They have never demand anything from the African countries that we see them doing business with in terms of their political landscape or what they do in their own countries. China has never been that type of country. It's not like the US where they come to your country and they say like, oh, you have to fly the LGBTQ flag or else you're not going to get this, or you have to do this or else you're not going to get that. China doesn't operate like that. China is 100% about business. And the reality with China is that China is one in one. No one can compete with China. It's not even close in terms of how they produce and the cost of their production. And I believe that even in the Caribbean, when you go to downtown Kingston and you see 99.9% of the products downtown Kingston in Jamaica from China, that's very affordable. That if not for those products, a lot of people would probably be going naked in Jamaica because those products are affordable. And when you go like to Swan Street in Barbados, the same thing, 99.9% products from China. You go to Kingstown in St. Vincent, the same thing. China, made in China is all over the Caribbean. And I know a lot of the stuff that even the things that we purchase with the American tag on it, made in China. So instead of us trying to put most of our business in America, why not go straight to the manufacturing capital of the world and make sure that we strengthen our relationship with them? And that is what this move is all about. And as I said, I don't think that this would have been happening. They would have been strengthening more relationship if not for the trade war. So I believe that this trade war is very, very good. And I believe that most, like a lot of us in the Caribbean, need to start, going to China more. I know people talk a lot of things that without knowing, without having the knowledge about what really goes on in China. And I have people that I know that live in China, that work in China, people that I went to school with, people that I went to church with that is in China, teaching English, working, studying. And what you hear in the media and what you hear from, what I hear from friends, completely different thing. So, and as I said, China is good for business. China is fast. I remember years ago, I was doing my restaurant business and I wanted some things. I was trying to order some branding stuff for my business with my logo on it. And it took me weeks, months trying to search in Canada to find something. Could not find anything. Went to America, nothing. So I decided to go online and I just put in what I needed and put some Chinese connection, and Chinese companies just popped up on my internet. And as soon as I went to one of the websites, there was an instant chat right away asking me what I want, giving me, quoting me shipping costs and everything I needed right there. So China, they're very efficient in China and they know what they're doing. So I believe that this is a good look for the Caribbean, that we're strengthening our relationship with China. Because why should we listen to Donald Trump fear-mongering and saying that, oh, be careful what you're doing with China, while Donald Trump is shaking Xi Jinping's hand and trying to sign a new deal with China? Makes no sense. So guys, sound off in the comment section and let me know your thoughts on this. What do you think about these new trade talks between the Caribbean and China? And do you think that the Caribbean will be better off for strengthening their relationship with China? Because to be honest, there's a lot of things. China is leading the world in technology now, in particular solar technology. China is way ahead of the world in solar technology, and solar is the way of the future. And I believe that there's no better place for solar energy than in the Caribbean. And I envision like all of these big solar panels, when you go like to Barbados or St. Vincent, and you look at some of the, like for example, you go to Barbados and you look at oysters, and you look at the fish market close there, and you see all these big panels, solar panel. I envision that like in the next 10 years, like solar panels, like just one of those sheets, you're going to be able to fit on your roof and they can power your entire house. Because everything that started out early, like cell phone, like TV, like all these things, they started out big until the technology evolves and they can get them compact. So I believe that that is where China is heading with solar and also with electric vehicle. So I believe that the Caribbean can benefit greatly from renewing or strengthening relationships with China. So sound off in the comment section and let me know your thoughts on this. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing content. And remember, peace. I'm out.